Okay, and then I'm gonna let people in. All right. Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome to our breakout session. We're allowing a couple of minutes for everybody to join us and for everybody to connect to the audio in case they need a couple of minutes. Welcome to day 2 of BIZCON 2020, our first year doing it virtual, but we're happy to have everybody here. Glad you guys all saw the opening session, and Nelly was great, gave us lots of great words, and so now we're gonna see some more stories. All right. Once again, welcome everybody. I'm gonna keep everybody on mute just to avoid background noise. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat through Excel events. You guys can see them on the side. You can, there's a couple of different options. You can put them in the Q&A. That is the best place to put in your questions. I'm dropping a question in there so you guys can see it. We're giving everybody a couple more minutes to join. There's a few people trying to get into the room. We're just giving a little bit of grace time for the technology to let us all in, make sure we're all in the same room. If you accidentally went to the wrong session, you guys can join back out and go to a different session, but we hope that you're here to hear all the great stories from all the founders and entrepreneurs of LA. So welcome everybody. All right, we see a couple more people joining us, and then we're going to get started. Let's see. All right. And I have allotted the chat for it to work. All right. Welcome everybody. So a few housekeeping rules. Once again, welcome to day 2 of BIZCON. We're very excited to have you guys join us today. We are really excited to hear all the different stories that these entrepreneurs have for us. And I just want to say thank you all for joining us. I want to make sure everybody can hear us. If you have any questions, both the chat on Excel events as well as the chat on Zoom has been able, so that you are able to send us questions, send us thoughts. If you want to connect with the speakers, it's a good place to send your information. I also want to remind you on Excel events, there are several ways that you can see about the speakers today. If you guys scroll towards the bottom, you can see the session details as well as the speakers, right? All of the information for the different speakers today has been updated. You guys can connect with them on LinkedIn, on Twitter. There's also a portion up on top or on your left-hand side that says people. If you click on people's picture, you actually can connect through Excel events so that you can talk to them afterwards, and or if you have any questions, you can send them directly to them. And I think everybody's gonna stick around and go to the networking session afterwards, so there'll be plenty of time to connect with everybody. So once again, thank you for joining us, and we're gonna get started. All right, awesome. First of all, I want to say thank you to all of our sponsors. Bank of the West, thank you so much for joining us again this year and being our presenting sponsor. We appreciate all of the love sending that to us, or silver sponsors or bronze sponsors. We would not be here today without all of you guys. So again, I want to say thank you to all of our sponsors for BIZCON 2020. And first, I'm going to introduce Cornel. He is the head of Impact Philanthropy and Corporate Social Responsibility Group from Bank of the West. He is joining us today from LA, so he's actually local as well. And I just want to give a big shout out. He's been one of our great supporters, an entrepreneur himself, and it's just a great community advocate. So make sure everybody say hi to Cornel, and we're going to pass it on to Cornel. Hey, Cornel, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Fantastic.
Good morning. Is this still morning? No. Actually, it's afternoon. So we're all over the place right now. So I'm trying to keep track of time. Good afternoon, all who joined today. I am thrilled. I am absolutely excited to be joining BizCon once again. Last year, I was jumping around the stage. This year, I'll be jumping around the comfort of my own home. But just certainly excited about all of what we have planned for you during this session. As Elaine mentioned, this is day two of BizCon, so I'm hopeful that you are full on new ideas, full on inspiration, and you are inspired by the great stories that you're hearing around the region in the middle of a pandemic. You haven't lost your hope. You've continued to be survivors and continue to thrive. And that is really what we want to celebrate on today. As Elaine mentioned, I am here representing West. We're proud supporters of BizCon. And I'm also 2 years into my journey as an Angelino. So I stand alongside so many of the great folks that are gathered here virtually to learn, to listen, to find inspiration, and continue to be LA strong. And so that is what we celebrate on today. Elaine asked me to give a little words of inspiration. As Elaine shared, in addition to my day to day, I am an entrepreneur myself. So I love being amongst family of those who have an entrepreneurial spirit, those folks who are courageous and hopeful. And so there's a lot that came to mind as I thought about, gathering virtually, right? Like our realities have been to some extent disrupted. But yet again, we still have an opportunity to come together. So I didn't want to be so stuck in that space, and I didn't want to be too far down the road in terms of being optimistic. So hopefully I found somewhat of a balance because I know that it's different. You can't interact, right now. You can't, network and really bring all that energy in the room. But we're going to make the best of the next 50 or so minutes that we have together. And so the first thing that I really want to start the conversation off with is really celebrating your strength, celebrating your resiliency, the grit, and what we call innovation. Many of you who are on this call, and certainly those that are joined, who I will get to introduce in a moment, didn't allow the times that we're facing to take them out. They've been brilliant in ways that they begin to start to pivot. They've been, providing, an act of service and kindness and love, to their neighbors, throughout the region. And they've been inspired to do new and different things. So if that is you out there who've joined virtually, I don't know where you are on the spectrum, but I know that you've chosen and you decided to be in this conversation because there was something about the title that really, I'm sure, resonated with you a little bit. And I will say that you certainly found your way into the right room, and I'm happy to move that forward in just a moment. So yeah, we celebrate. We celebrate all of what you're doing, all of what you will continue to do. And then I just want you to really think about, just inspiration, the inspiration that you receive, and also the inspiration that you provide to others. When you look at, the LA region, we're strong, because of the many, mom and pop shops, our street vendors, our small businesses, our courageous entrepreneurs, and founders. That is the strength of this region. And that is what makes this region so dynamic. And that is something that we certainly want to celebrate. So be inspired today when you think about the possibilities. Be inspired when you think about, the next 30, 60, 90 days down the road. I know resources looks a little different, but keep your eyes on the prize and stay encouraged. And we the way that happens is doing exactly what we're doing now. We're coming together as a community. We're reaching out to folks, who may have a resource, may have an idea. We are supporting all types of businesses, all types of founders. And so that is what's going to continue to keep us going forward, is really supporting one another. And that is one thing that I love truly about being in Los Angeles, is that we support each other, we support local businesses, we support small businesses, and we want to continue to do that. So in the spirit of celebrating success, we will also hear today about, yeah, the challenges. Let's be honest, this is not business as usual. Um, you know, we really had to be pretty creative, and we've had to overcome some very, very tough challenges. And I'm here to tell you that you're going to hear from some folks today, who have really, really, jumped over some really significant hurdles, and hopefully that will be some stories that will inspire you today. And I would say, as an entrepreneur myself, and thinking about, what lies ahead, I'd say continue to look within. Many of what you do, it started with the back of the napkin idea. For some of us, it started during your quiet and sacred time where you were seeking to figure out what was your purpose. When you had that idea that was keeping you up all at night, and you decided to move on that idea, and now you are a thriving, growing business. Um, Continue to look in. That is where you're going to find, the strength, the courage. That is where you're going to find that happiness and joy that you need to continue to push through, and know that you are certainly not alone. And that is one thing that I would say on behalf of Bank of the West, who pride themselves in supporting diverse entrepreneurs and small business owners. We are your bank. We are in your communities. And me, Cornell, I am your friend. I am just a call away, and I'm excited about what we will celebrate on today. So in the spirit of celebrating and inspiration and sharing ideas, or if we stick to the theme around stories of innovation and resilience, I'm happy and fortunate to have met a great group of, I can call them a number of things, but let's just say, the heart and the fabric of this region is represented today. And I cannot wait to pass the mic off to them, because they are a little bit more exciting and really have some much more important things to share than you actually listening to me. This is the first virtual event I've actually emceed, so I'd say please don't rate me so bad. I'll try to keep you entertained. I'll try to keep you inspired. But I am certainly very, very, very excited about the folks that we will talk to today. I had some time to spend with them on yesterday, hearing their stories, learning about their businesses and the products and services. But then again, like the stories of strength and resiliency and innovation. You'll hear about a number of things, and I dare not steal their thunder. Um, but I would say I do want to call upon the folks who you will get to hear from, if they can just wave their hands right now, and then we'll move into how we will facilitate this conversation. But I want to first introduce Shannon Horton of Digital Faces. Shannon, if you can wave your hand to the audience. There's Shannon. There's Shannon. Second, we have Ginger Campbell with Snap Productions. Ginger, where's that smiling face? There she is. The third person I would like to introduce is Jeffrey Amount with Synagos. Jeffrey, there he is. And next we have Dana Arnett of Wiccan Bionics. There she is. Hey, Dana. And we have Catherine Garces with Andre's Healthy Kitchen. There she's smiling. Next, we have Lizzie Brown with Yoga Wake Up. Lizzie, thank you. And last but certainly not least, we have Tuan Lee with Verve. Tuan, again, we have an awesome group of brilliant, bright, strong, incredible folks that you will hear about. And we look forward to jumping into that conversation. Elaine and I have some logistics. We will hear from all of the founders, and then after we hear from all the founders, we will jump into some Q&A. Feel free to engage via the chat box. I know you can't say rah, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah when you hear something great, or even wipe a tear when you hear something that may pull your heart, but Feel free to use any of the emojis in the chat box. Feel free to make some comments in the chat box. Folks really want to feel your love, and we certainly will appreciate that. With that being said, Elaine, I don't know about you, but I am certainly ready to rock and roll. I am on the edge of my seat waiting to hear from the folks. And all those who are watching, you are in for a phenomenal treat. So I would like to turn it over to you, Elaine, and then we will turn it over quickly to Shannon Horton to get us started of Digital Faces. Ladies and gentlemen, give them a virtual round of applause as he comes to the virtual stage. Shannon, take it off.
How's it going, guys? My name is Shannon with Digital Faces. We actually just pivoted, and that can actually be a good segue into it, but we just pivoted into dental marketing. So right before COVID, we had a lot of successes with 2 dental offices, and we decided, you know what, a lot of the great companies, started off with a niche, right? So, Amazon with books, Facebook started off as a Harvard social media network, so on and so forth. And we just didn't want to be that Me Too agency anymore, like, hey, we do that too. We do that too. Like, we want to be great at one thing and then expand from there. And before we even knew it, but we wanted to really market to, for essential businesses before, that word or that term was even popularized. So I would say right before COVID, we actually just got on 4 dental offices that month. And then, COVID happened. And, to be honest with you guys, I was just like everyone else. 40% of our business shut down overnight. And, I'm going to be honest with you guys. We were hanging by a thread, right? Paying expenses just, if any client would have canceled during that time, we would have been in the red. And so, I was like a lot of people, just distraught, in my pajamas, sad, couldn't go anywhere, right? COVID was out, and it was just a very, very tough time. But I think 2 things happened. One, it gave me time to think and reflect about what I really wanted this company to be. And one of the things I realized was, building a company, I didn't have any systems and processes in place. So I started reading a book called E-Myth. And, that book really taught, one of the things it taught was to document and put processes in your business, right? Make it almost like McDonald's, where everything has a process and anyone that comes in the business can actually implement these systems. So I took all the 2 months and literally documented how we do Facebook ads, how we onboard clients, right? Literally click by click, screen by screen. It took me 2 months to do this. I used a program called Trainual, right? And actually created exams for, new team members to come on board. And we also then started implementing virtual assistants as well to the fold, because right now you can get a lot of top tier talent, domestically and foreignly. You can get top tier talent at very competitive prices. As an entrepreneur, that's very valuable. And a lot of people right now are thinking about other industries and how they could jump into, let's say, marketing or whatever and do their dream. And sometimes your company could be the window to that. So that's one opportunity that you guys could really look at, is there's top talent right now at very competitive prices, domestically and foreignly. So we did that, we brought someone on board to kind of test on these systems and processes. And then number 2, I used to work for Keller Williams, and I'll end with this story. I used to work for Keller Williams before I did Digital Faces as their tech coordinator. So Keller Williams real estate office, I was one of their first marketing tech coordinators to help real estate agents and to create a curriculum on how to market. And this was around 2010, 2011. And you could still smell 2008, behind us. I could still feel it with agents. And I noticed one thing, out of 300 agents in this one office, there was 5 agents making over 6 figures, and, even half a million. And I was like, why is it that these people are in the same industry, the same office, same location, but only 5 people are making, over 6 figures. And, I think 2 of them were making $500,000 that year. In an office in a climate where people were still distraught about the financial crisis. And the reason why was because, these handful of people were out door knocking, calling, right? They were out there, taking market share while the others were still sad and just laying around and sitting in the office. And I realized something. I'm like, wow, when there's a big panic, when there's a crash, when there's a dent negatively that happens in the economy, there's market share to be taken from your competitors, because the rest of the competitors are sitting at home, right, being distraught about what just happened, even years from when it actually did happen. So we actually, created a system to where as soon as we get a client, we have the systems and processes and documented everything to where, again, just like McDonald's, which has very little middle management, right? Someone can come on, a high school student can come on and actually implement these onboarding systems that we have in place. So that way, right now, this time, we can actually spend all the time marketing, because there's very little agencies actually marketing, yet alone other companies marketing, because they're so distracted. So I saw this as an opportunity. And for other agencies out there, I'm like, great, sit at home, still be, distraught. You don't have to change. This is opportunity to take market share because people are distracted right now. And so we started putting in publications in dental association magazines. We bought dental pens, notepads, flyers. So we're, passing out, notepads, flyers. We actually just got done doing a video, doing some YouTube ads and publications, and advertisements actually pretty cheap right now because not a lot of people are advertising. So I think that's where we found a lot of the light in this. And, the teams that we had, it's funny because the actual people that we had in the company, because it's not as much as before, but the people that we do have, this gave them light, outside of their personal life. So the people that are in the company are very engaged. And on top of that, now that we have everything documented, I think before COVID, we weren't ready to scale. I think after COVID, we're ready to have 20 to 30 dental offices just because of the systems and processes that we've now documented. So I think this is just a very exciting time. COVID is actually one of the best things that could have happened, in my opinion, because, now we built in the groundwork and the foundation to really get going. And, like I would finish off with, there's opportunity, guys, because your competitors are still distracted of what's going on. And there's a difference between being aware of what's going on. And that's a great thing about the LA Chamber was we were able to really create an outline of when are we going to get out there and start marketing based off of what the LA Chamber's updates were, because they had a connection to government, to these offices and these committees of when things were opening up, how they were going to open up, how they're going to affect laws. So it kind of just aligned. So there's opportunity, guys. And I would just end with that, your competitors are sleeping. And so I would do the best thing you can is to wake up and get after it.
Thank you so much, Shannon. That was absolutely amazing. One of the quick things I wanted to highlight, you shared, is to take a second to stop, to think. And when you see that window of opportunity, even if you have to crawl, or some folks are just dive right into those opportunities. Shannon also dropped a few nuggets out there in terms of resources. So feel free to grab some of those resources that Shannon mentioned, or I'm sure he'll be happy to drop something in the chat box so folks can kind of follow through with that. Thank you so much for that, Shannon. We're going to move on. If you have any questions, particularly for Shannon, hold those questions. Feel free to document those questions in the chat box if you want to now, but we'll come back and grab those questions when we open it up for Q&A. Without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Ginger Campbell with Snap Productions. Ginger, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Hi, I'm Ginger Campbell. I'm part of One LA, and I'm also principal at Snap Productions. At Snap, we educate, uplift, and improve people's lives through large-scale event production and integrated communication strategies, including public relations, marketing, and branding. I started this company almost 28 years ago because I love imagining a concept and bringing it to fruition. I'm originally from Chicago, and I got my start as the general manager of Taste of Chicago, the world's largest food festival with over 2.5 million attendees. Somebody's got something going on in the background.
If you can mute your line if you're not speaking, that would be great. Thank you.
Thanks, I appreciate that. When COVID-19 hit, I watched all the work that I had booked just disappear. The events industry was and still is dead, and all the PR clients I had also disappeared because they were confined to the house and they couldn't execute any of the plans that we created. So everyone was kind of paralyzed by the uncertainty that was going on. But one of the things I noticed is that the news media was focused on senior graduation and what that would look like during the but what they weren't talking about was a big rite of passage that the students were going to miss, senior prom. So I do large-scale events and programs with lots of people in attendance. So the challenge was, how do you reimagine a prom and instill a sense of community when you're in your own house? So we pitched this idea to LA Unified, which is the second largest school district in the nation. We wanted to do a high-energy event with lots, with hot DJs, giveaways, celebrity involvement that not just the students, but the whole family enjoyed. So we finally got the go-ahead to produce this 3-hour diverse prom for their over 33,000 seniors in a window of only 2 weeks. But now the next challenge was, we'd never done a virtual event before. What does that look like? How do you learn a new platform and deliver everything that you promised with only 9 business days? Well, we didn't really know, but we rolled up our sleeves and figured we better learn quick. The student prom committee had given us a list of celebrities that they wanted involved. But mind you, it's mid-May. And now the celebrities that were just sitting around doing nothing are now being tapped for graduation. So the pickings that were abundant are now slim. So to simplify the broadcast, we requested video shout outs and received 8 from celebrities such as Magic Johnson, Estelle, Tashina Arnold, and LA Laker Danny Green. We also solicited vocal performances from locally signed recording artists on videos. We reached out to several companies to secure giveaways, and we were able to keep the students engaged during the prom by offering chances to win by answering questions in the chat. We also created the feel of an in-person event by relaying song requests from the students to the DJs that we'd secured, and we even got a live shout out from Justin Combs, Sean Puff Daddy's Combs' son, who really thrilled the audience and the kids. I have to admit that when I hit that broadcast button, I was so nervous, but we delivered an engaging event for students who would otherwise have missed this important moment. I'm grateful for the opportunity from One LA to talk about how we pivoted. LA is a great place to do business because we're trendsetters on how to do something traditional in a new way. Thanks to this experience, I now know that we're equipped to handle virtual events of any size, and we can do it at the highest level. So until it's safe for us to all get together again in person, I'm learning to think beyond conventional boundaries to bring people together around a common mission. Thank you for your time.
Wow, give some snaps for Ginger and all of that great work. In 2 weeks, 33,000 young people engage in what we know best as the closure of a senior year. I mean, who don't want to go to prom? Ginger, thank you for bringing that to life for so many young people. And hey, you now have someone who can conduct a large-scale virtual event. Check out Ginger. She's with One LA. Thank you so much, Ginger. All right, moving on. We now have Jeffrey with Synagogues. Jeffrey, I will turn it over to you.
Oh, hey everyone, how's it going? I am Jeffrey Almonte. I am a professional electrical engineer and also the principal for Synagogues Inc. And also our company is a family-owned business. It was started in 2016 by my father. In 2018, my stepmother, she passed away, and she used to help a lot with the company. So it made me really think about the work I wanted to do and also who I wanted to do it with. So in 2019, I joined my father full-time in order to be able to just try to work with them almost every day and to also grow our company to take it to the next level. Our company offers mechanical, electrical, and also plumbing engineering services. As a native Angelino, it brings me a lot of joy just to be able to walk around, drive around, and then as I drive around and stuff, I see a bunch of buildings, a bunch of projects I was able to work on. And then, you know, it gets me kind of thinking like, oh yeah, you know, I remember that project. There were a lot of drawings on that project, or this happened or that happened. And it made me think about how I really want to do a good job on each and every project, because the thing is, a lot of people don't really get to see the behind the scenes of like what happens for like each of the buildings that we live in, that we work in. And it kind of reminds me of the show How I Built This, and how there's all this kind of stuff happening behind the walls electrical, mechanical, and like, you know, a bunch of plumbing. And it's important that we do a really good job on that. So that way we are able to try to keep up with the code because there's a bunch of changes. And every time that there's a change in the code, that's because a fatal accident happened in the past. So it's my best interest to make sure that you know, our company does a really good job in terms of our quality of work. Now, the projects we work on can be anywhere from a power plant trying to transport power from like LA up to Owens Valley, or you know, new construction, remodels, or a bunch of green buildings. And a recent project of ours was at UCLA. We're working on 3 new student housing projects. And our job was, we were hired directly from UCLA in order to act in the best interest and to make sure that the contractors that were going to be constructing the building is going to be doing so in the safest way, because there's a bunch of students and of course a lot of public safety. Now, our company normally works with about 1 to 2 clients that give us a majority of the projects. And that's because over time, we just have a lot of relationships and a lot of projects that we have done with those companies. And it sounds like a good thing, and it is a good thing. However, when COVID-19 hit, those companies were also affected as well. So example, UCLA, they're not really doing a lot of construction projects now because the students aren't going to be moving in the fall, or they're not sure. So that affected us as well. And it was during those tough times when we saw a revenue drop almost immediately as well, that we were trying to learn how to pivot. And that's when it brought me a lot of happiness and a lot of joy to be able to see that there's a lot of resources available for a bunch of small business owners, just like me, and you know, a lot of the other people here as well. And it's just, you just have to put yourself out there, just try to register for a bunch of events. And that's how I learned about the One LA program, building business to win contracts. And it's a program hosted by the LA Area Chamber of Commerce. And in there, it teaches you how to put yourself out there in a competitive way to be able to go after these government contracts or some other bids that are using this bidding process. And I know that as a small business owner, it can be hard. And I just want to say that as a business owner, you might not really know what to do, but just keep your head up and just keep on trying to make just even a little bit of progress each and every day, because then you don't really know, but after a little bit of time, a week, a day, a month, a couple months, it goes by, and after that, then you know that you've made a ton of progress after looking back. And with us, it's been really helping us a lot. We put out a couple bids, and it's a bit too early because we don't really know if we have got the projects or not. But each and every time that we make a bid on a new project, we're able to just continually improve our process and just everything that we do. There's a book out there that I really like. It's called The Compound Effect. And it talks about just every day you're either improving or taking a step back. And, you know, as long as you just keep on taking just a couple steps here and there, then over time, then, you know, you've walked a mile or a couple miles. So again, I want to thank you guys for your time. And I also want to thank everyone here and also LA Area Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you so much, Jeffrey. Thank you so much. People, these are real stories from real people. Jeffrey, thank you so much for the inspiration. One of the things I heard loud and clear when Jeffrey was telling the story, it reminded me of what Shannon talked about when they took a step back and started to inform new processes And, when you looked at Ginger's story and, you see all of these challenges, one thing that I love about all the folks who've spoken thus far is that they didn't allow these challenges to stop them. They saw opportunity in the middle of, what didn't look like there was no possibility. So you're hearing stories of strong, strong folks being innovative, being resilient. Let's give those folks, and even all of those who are watching, let's give you some snaps, because I know it's not easy. I know you're really wrestling with what to do next, but hey, I think the stories thus far has really pushed you over the edge a little bit to give yourself a little bit more hope and to continue to push through. We're only halfway there. We have some more amazing, amazing stories to tell. I will turn it over to the phenomenal, fabulous with Wicked Bionics. Take it on, Dana.
Thank you so much, Cornel, and welcome everyone. I'm so proud to be a small business owner in the city of Los Angeles. I never wanted to own my own business. For 30 years, I was blessed to have a great career in television, and I worked for other people. But in 2015, I met my business partner, Carlos Cepene, and we opened Wicked Bionic. We're a multicultural advertising agency that connects diverse communities with the city of Los Angeles and develops programs and ways to engage local residents. So we've been working on a bunch of campaigns. Right now we're working on the Los Angeles Public Library, almost 3 years now. And it's been so important to us that businesses are delivering culturally relevant messaging, I think now more than ever. And it's something that we're very passionate about, my business partner and I. And when the pandemic hit, things were going well. I had been very good about going to conferences, getting involved with our city, doing things with the Department of Public Works and the LA Small Business Academy and Goldman Sachs. And I learned so many things. And One LA I just did last month, and that incredible program that Jeffrey was talking about. And when the pandemic hit, it was like that was taken away from all of us, the ability to connect in person. And so a lot of my networking was out in the world. And it was really, it was scary because it was the beginning of March, as you all know, and we weren't sure what we were supposed to do because we're not the kind of company that we would wait it out. And thank God we didn't wait it out, because there's kind of no, it's over now. And, we just had to get smart, and we had to really take a hard look at what we weren't doing. And so, myself and the team, we really talked for about a week about what we could do. And, the truth is we weren't practicing what we do for a living for our clients, which is outreach and connecting and messaging and carrying our message. So what we had to do is I decided that we would spend, I'm the money person, that we'd spend 30% of our revenue on marketing and advertising. So we advertise on, we still do it, on LinkedIn and on Facebook and on Google to targeted clients, businesses in the local area that don't do multicultural marketing campaigns. So we also actually have been doing some great blogging. We thought, how can we help within the pandemic? So we started in mid-March doing marketing in a crisis. And we do that weekly, and it's evolved as the virus has evolved and as marketing has started to come back. So we're spending this money. I'm getting anxious because I just worry about money. And here's what happened. So in 2 months, nothing happened. Zero. It was like crickets. And I was really nervous because I'm the kind of person that likes earning money. I like spending money, but I do not like wasting money. And money was going out the door because, as many of you know, advertising is very expensive. So we really believed in our plan because it's the same type of strategy that we work out for our clients. And we just kept with it. And, by the grace of God, May is only the prior month, but about 4.5 weeks ago, it started to work. And we could see in our analytics that people were engaging. The phone was ringing by cold calls, and I'd ask them where they came from. And they said, oh, we saw your Google ad, or, oh, we searched out marketing in Los Angeles. So that made us feel good. Things were starting to turn around. And I'll tell you, we were the best kept secret. And as a business, the last thing you want to be is the best kept secret because nobody knows about you. So we're doing great work, but we're so focused doing work in our business that we weren't working on our business. And that is one of the blessings of this awful virus, is that it forced us to really look at ourselves holistically, with the bird's eye view and say, what does Wicked Bionic need to do to really keep, have the ability to carry our message to clients and help them carry the wider message of their business to different audiences. And so I think for us, we're lucky. Yesterday, I'm just going to tell you, it's a little bit daunting, but yesterday we just found out that we got a contract with the mayor's office for advertising for the census to help them gain people to respond to the census. So that was one of the things that came out of this. And we're writing 2 proposals for some regional businesses that are looking for diverse marketing. And I think for now, you know, it's so important for me to continue to educate myself, for us to get better at what we're doing, you know, and really being able to make sure that our message and our business, we're thinking of it as being of service to others, because multicultural marketing is necessary. And we didn't realize how necessary it was until this happened. So what I want to say is you know, do the best to give your time to, even though you feel like maybe you can't pull yourself out of your business because you're too busy with clients, there is time, because the business can't perpetuate and continue and develop without working on your business and being strategic. That's part of it. And the second thing is, do not be the best kept secret. Go out in front of your brand, something I did not want to do, but go out in front of your brand and be the face of your brand, and people will connect with you and things will change. I wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you, Dana. Give us some snaps. Give us some snaps. Dana brought in all of that LA pride, all of that Angelino pride, and I felt it from miles and miles away. Believe in your plan, as Dana mentioned. Work on the business and talk about what you do. People want to hear you're doing some great work. Don't be a best kept secret. Thank you for reminding us of that, Dana. All right, we're going to turn it over to Catherine with Andre's Healthy Kitchen. Take it away. Catherine, are you on mute? Maybe?
¿Mejor? ¿Me oye?
Sí, te oímos.
Sí.
¿Está bien?
Sí.
Ok. Mi nombre es Catherine Garcés y estoy con Andrea's Healthy Kitchen. Estoy encargada de lo que es el mercadeo. Tuve 11 años con la compañía de finanzas, encargándome de lo que es el mercadeo y lo que es el reclutamiento de empleados. Cuando conocí a Tatiana y Andrew, que son los fundadores, vi la idea que ellos tenían y ese sueño de mejorar la salud de todos sus clientes. Entonces vi como un brillante en bruto y yo dije, hay que hacer algo con esto, y mi sueño fue me uní con ellos como socia a hacer una franquicia. El enfoque de Andrea's Healthy Kitchen más que nada es mejorar la salud de nuestros clientes, educar a nuestros clientes para que nuestros clientes cambien a una mejor vida y tengan un estilo de vida más saludable. Con Tatiana y Andrew ha sido una experiencia maravillosa porque hemos podido reinventarnos. Cuando comenzamos este año estábamos tan bendecidos de todo lo que hemos recibido cuando comenzamos a hacernos socios y cómo la comunidad aceptó esta nueva familia. Para mí fue algo grande y decidimos hacer el año de devolver todo lo que teníamos, las bendiciones a organizaciones. Inventamos el Ginger Shot Challenge. Este shot nos iba a poder ayudar a dar dinero a organizaciones como mamás solteras, LGBT, orferinatos, DACA, tráfico infantil. Y tuvimos mucho apoyo de medios de televisión y radio. Desgraciadamente, cuando pegó el COVID, tuvimos que reinventarnos, que esa es la palabra que hoy se está utilizando mucho. Y en los pequeños negocios tenemos que entender que es muy importante la palabra reinventarse. Nos sentamos con Tatiana y Andrew a decir, ¿qué vamos a hacer ahora? Todo se cambió, todo paró y decidimos no solamente recibir el apoyo recibir ese apoyo de nuestra comunidad, pero ¿qué hacemos para devolver a nuestra comunidad durante el COVID? Tuvimos clientes que seguían queriendo mantenerse saludables y sí hubieron cambios en nuestras ventas, pero decidimos también aportar algo que no lo hicimos público. Por cada compra que venían nuestros clientes, nosotros queríamos darle una bolsa de arroz o podíamos darle fruta, lo que podíamos hacer. Entonces comenzamos a hacer ¿Qué devolvemos a nuestra comunidad? ¿Qué hacemos por nuestra comunidad para podernos reinventar y poder ser parte de esta desgracia que está pasando? Pudimos dar almuerzos para los doctores y las enfermeras en los hospitales, pudimos ayudar a niños pequeños dándoles nutrición, pudimos ayudar a muchas personas que estuvieron necesitadas durante este cambio. Y de repente pasó el incendio. Como podrán ver, nuestro negocio se incendió y ahí sí vino el momento de otra vez reinventarnos. ¿Qué hicimos? ¿Qué podemos hacer para poder mantener nuestro negocio en pie? Vino el COVID, pasó esto, ¿qué vamos a hacer? Entonces unimos fuerza los tres y dijimos, no nos podemos dar por vencido. Como líderes de nuestra comunidad tenemos que dar el ejemplo de que no nos podemos dar por vencido. Este es el momento de mostrar a nuestros clientes, nuestras amistades, a todos los que nos están apoyando de que aquí nos podemos reinventar. Entonces, hemos recibido tanto apoyo, crearon un GoFundMe, nuestros clientes quisieron comprarnos más, nos donaron una cocina para poder trabajar y ha sido un momento donde demostramos como dueños de negocios la unión entre los tres y pudimos salir adelante. Ahora estamos viendo una nueva locación, estamos viendo qué es mejor que la que teníamos antes, todo resultó ser hasta mejor y yo creo que todo pasa por algo, ¿no? Y siempre tenemos que ver el momento donde hay que reinventarse. En cualquier momento te puede caer una desgracia y tienes que estar listo. ¿Qué implementamos como estrategias de mercadeo, de marketing, las redes sociales? Los negocios latinos tienen ese problema que no creen mucho en las redes sociales y tienen que entender que es algo muy importante, que es lo que ahora se está utilizando como parte de nuestro mercadeo en los negocios, ¿no? ¿Cómo vamos a reinventarnos? Y siempre las redes sociales son es la mejor forma de poder tener a nuestro negocio siguiendo adelante. Podemos demostrar también lo que podemos hacer por nuestra comunidad. Andrea's Healthy Kitchen fue creado para eso. Los jugos que se crearon fueron para mejorar la salud. Tatiana tiene una historia maravillosa, la fundadora. Por medio de sus propios jugos, ella mejoró su salud y bajó de peso. Son jugos que son 100% naturales, no tienen agua, no tienen azúcar y son programas de 5 días, de 10 días. Los jugos no son hechos de una manera muy diferente y estamos muy contentos de poder apoyar a nuestra comunidad y reinventarnos y también, no solo eso, educarlos. Importante que es los jugos, lo importante que es comer saludable, lo importante es que mejorar su salud. Para nosotros no hay satisfacción más grande que nuestros clientes mejoren su diabetes, su presión alta, que nos llamen, que nos cuenten historias que han bajado de peso. Para nosotros la mejoría de nuestros clientes es una satisfacción como dueños de negocio.
Gracias. You know, give and it shall be given unto you, right? Do good and good comes back to you. And when you look at just this beautiful place to live and to work and to play and to establish businesses and see those businesses grow and prosper, it's our community that pulls together and comes together to support us in times like this. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for speaking in your native tongue. Elaine, thank you for keeping us cued in for those of us who are not so fluent. Thank you so much for that. Turn it over to Lizzie Brown with Yoga Wake Up. She has something to share.
Thank you, Cornel. Thank you to BIZCON. Hi, can you hear me? Thank you to BIZCON as well for having me. I'm super appreciative of your support. I'm Lizzie Brown. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Yoga Wake Up. It's an app that delivers easy audio guided yoga and meditation to you at home, in the bedroom, and on the go. We feature hundreds of unique sessions that can be played in the morning, at bedtime, or anytime throughout the day to make getting into a healthy routine easier. Our content is also created entirely by yoga teachers and meditation experts, and we work with more than 50 teachers across the world, many of whom we bring in weekly to our recording studio to record new content. So, and also naturally, as we're a subscription model, we're expected to deliver new content all the time. So when COVID hit, despite the fact that we were an online business, we are an online business, and that we're small, so we're pretty easily adaptable, we too had to face immediate challenges. Recording new content came to a screeching halt. And although we saw an uptick in sales, competition remained fierce in our industry, and everybody was quick to move their businesses online, all of the yoga businesses and gyms as well. So our first move was really about how can we help, and even though our businesses is still doing well and we are seeing this uptick, how can we contribute and help everyone else who we are seeing struggle, namely the yoga teachers in our community who saw their work immediately stop. So our first thought was, let's help frontline workers, educators, students. How do we get mindfulness practices into their hands quickly and affordably? So we swiftly moved in with free programs. So these last 3 to 4 months, 4 months since lockdown, we began, Shannon expressed it so well, that when you have this opportunity to work harder, when other people may not be, have that opportunity. So for us, it was working day and night to get these programs out. So we immediately developed an enterprise sign-in with Yoga Wake Up so that frontline workers and workers from the VA and HCA could access Yoga Wake Up completely free. We also, with our current users, because we couldn't record audio content in-house anymore, we moved to do video streaming, video live streaming in the app. We thought it would be a great way for our teachers to continue to create community-driven content, authentic content. There also were already starting to familiarize themselves with Zoom and with these platforms like IGTV. And we created this video live streaming for our teachers to reach our community for anybody who had a subscription. So just very recently, hit by the intensity of the Black Lives Matter movement, we were amid planning a virtual yoga festival live streamed on Yoga Wake Up to launch this new feature. And we felt like this is not enough. This isn't something that we can launch right now when we need to be thinking about something much more important, something much bigger than us. And that's, how do we unite our community, and how do we draw attention to the lack of diversity in the yoga community? And that's beyond Yoga Wake Up being one, what we can control, but looking at our industry on a global level, at least on a national level, we felt that there's a situation here that we can contribute to and that we can help. So we launched our virtual yoga festival, and we actually made it about calling everyone to wake up and unite around yoga, and it was called Wake Up Fest. And we brought in teachers from the BIPOC community. We brought in teachers that were also on Yoga Wake Up, and we had 1,300 views for the day. And Apple featured the festival in their things to do for the weekend. And as a result, they've also, we've been on their radar now, so they reached out to us about App of the Day. So we're expecting to be featured on App of the Day any day now. So be sure to check your iPhone for that soon. So needless to say, the life of a founder is never boring. COVID-19 definitely kept it interesting for us. But I think, like Shannon and like all of the founders today have really expressed, it's really about just being tough and resilient and working through it and doing the best you can. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Lizzie. Thank you so much for sharing. COVID-19 isn't a period, right? And many of the founders have shared that it certainly hasn't stopped. And many of the folks who've spoken of celebrating new things or pushing out new and innovative ideas. So for all those who are out there listening, I hope that this will be inspiration. Hope that it has been inspiration for you. That COVID won't be your period, that you will find the tenacity and the strength to reach and look and do something different, right? And I think there's a push and a hurry to get back to normal, but we won't get back to normal. We should think about a new normal. And thank you so far for everybody for sharing things that they've done in the state of the pandemic. All right, last but certainly not least, I think this is the right transition, thinking about the 4 o'clock happy hour party situation. We'll turn it over to Tuan. All yours.
Okay. Hey everyone, thanks Corneal. I'm Tuan Lee. I'm one of the 4 founders of Vervet. Before we get to our pivots, though, let me give you an idea of what we do. We are a craft cocktail bar in a can. We decided to build an entire craft cocktail bar inside a tiny 12-ounce aluminum can. We think it's the coolest bar that you can carry around so you can have a properly made drink anywhere. Over 3 years of development with our co-founder, who's a veteran bartender, we made our own spirits. Then we made our own bitters, vermouth, and amaros to mix with. Our fresh juices and flavors come directly from California farms. And the recipes, they celebrate the different cultures of this city. So what I'm saying is, like, over the course of these 3 years, we ended up making really, really great canned cocktails with the brand that celebrates the people of the city and the farms of this state. You know, as we launched last July, and in those first 6 months, our traction, we were able to secure partnerships with the Grammys, the Ace Hotel, AEG, and, you know, multiple stadiums like the new one in Inglewood, SoFi. But of course, with the crisis, all this went away. All of our event marketing went away, and these partnerships. So of course, we know at some point in the future, it's all going to come back, but we knew, you know, pivoting would be the key. So we just really needed to adapt to the shape of this new environment. Our first pivot was called LA Bodega on Wheels. It was a business community initiative. We also took advantage of the relaxed regulation, allowing bars and restaurants to sell packaged booze. So we partnered with some local restaurants and businesses that would allow us to deliver grocery staples, food, booze, and dessert to be delivered by Cool House's ice cream trucks. So it kept people at home. It helped us, our small businesses, and it was also a way for us to give back to the community. We partnered with a local charity called No Us Without You, which provides food security to the undocumented workers in the back of the house. So this pivot, you know, it helped us. We're a startup, we're pre-revenue, and this pivot helped us continue with our traction in a different way. We received over 20 pieces of press and thousands of shoppers. So that was, you know, what we learned is the power of community, you know, is really what made this happen. Our second pivot that I'd like to talk about today is kind of unrelated to COVID. And this pivot is more of a promise, but it's also sort of community based. And this is a permanent one for us. It's in response to the 400-year crisis of injustice and inequality, as suffered by our fellow Black Americans. And as a company that's POC and women owned, we know the value of inclusion, but we learned we need to be better allies. So, you know, we feel one of the greatest startup pitch decks of all time is the founding documents of this country. Their plan was justice in the pursuit of happiness for all equally. I mean, we feel like what a great set of values for us to put into practice. And as we grow our startup and we gain investment, so do opportunities. So with Vervet, we will make sure the Black community is included in a meaningful way when that time comes. So what we learned through these pivots really came from the power of helping and including our community. You know, I think this really helped us develop the survival muscles that startups need. And it really strengthened our values. That's what our experience reminded us of, and that's what I can share with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I am waiting on my cocktail in a can, best believe. Oh man, I would love to say so much about what was just shared, but to wrap it up, because I know we do want to hear, at least grab a couple questions, if we can grab a couple questions. Elaine has kept the communication going in the chat box, so you know how to reach out to these folks. We have a networking session happening after that, and we strongly encourage you, if you have the time, to move over to the networking session so you can continue the conversations. We've also added some contact information so you can stay in touch. Great company, a great group of folks, phenomenal stories shared. Wow. Hopefully you've been inspired and truly encouraged by the strength, the innovation, the ideas and the representation of the folks who are here in Los Angeles. Wow, incredible group. Elaine, I'll turn it over to you to see what we will do about hearing from our friends who joined us virtually.
Thank you, Cornel. Cornel, I've been keeping track of the chat both within the Zoom and on Excel event. So if you guys have any additional questions for any of our participants, it's a place to throw them in. I also threw in all the information as our wonderful business owners and speakers were throwing out book ideas, and they were throwing out, you know, things that they've learned in this period of resiliency and just pivot, right? Learning how to, you know, just change the business model. I think one of the great things that I learned today was, you know, this isn't about, you know, the businesses being resilient. This is about the founders and the business owners being resilient, right? All of you guys that shared your stories today, right? Whatever you were doing before changed, right? We have no power over what came on, over COVID-19, but what we do have the power to do is to figure out what we do next and how do we adapt to it, right? We wanted to throw in, just showcase the diversity of LA. So I want to say thank you to everybody for, really showcasing that. Catherine, thank you for giving us that pitch in Spanish. I think it was inspirational. I want to make sure, in LA, there's so many Spanish speaking people, right? And if we're not speaking Spanish, then I don't know, right? We're like halfway there. So I summarized a little bit in the chat and, was trying to catch up with some of the different things that you were saying along the way. Amazing story, but if you want to hear more, she's going to be in the networking sessions too. She's going to stick around. I also dropped in her information. And as I mentioned earlier, all the information is on Excel events. So you can also connect with them directly, right? Talk to them about how you can collaborate. Talk to them how you can, join them for a contract, hire them to do your marketing, have them throw you a prom or maybe a gala in the fall, right? There's so many things that you could be doing. I think we're going to have some, Vervet cocktails also in the mix, in there. And as we talk about what comes into projects, right, Jeffrey, we learned so much about the value of making sure that your family business, survives, thrives, and grows, and how important and valuable and how interconnected we all are as founders, as business owners, as entrepreneurs in different spaces doing different things. But really the stories are just resonating. So before we get going, I want to make sure we do a quick group photo. So everybody that is joining us right now, via Zoom, if everybody can turn your camera on really quickly, we want to do a quick picture so that we can see everybody's face. We want to be able to remember this. Also, we got to take a picture for the Instagram, guys. Let's do it for the gram. So can we see everybody turn on your pictures before we go into our happy hour? All right, I'm going to stop sharing this so we can do a quick picture. We're going to do it for the gram. Let me turn this one on.
Do it for the gram.
Woohoo! Yeah, there's two of me now because, all right. So, all right, I think Sandy's gonna help us take a picture really quickly. All right. So we'll do one screen, move over to the next one. I know we have some people that are being shy and not turning on their cameras, but we wanna see your faces so we know you were here with us. All right, take a quick picture. Oh, good to see all the good looking people in here. All right, I think we need a couple more seconds just to make sure we captured everybody. All right, took one more. Just wanna make sure we capture this moment. Do it for the gram. All right. All right. Thank you, everybody. Cornel, any last words before we send them off to what everybody's been waiting for?
No, I just want to turn the table and say thank you to the chamber and BIZCON and One LA. Hey, if you're out there and looking for a great group to join and learn more about, check out the work that is happening at the chamber. They're doing some great work. Thank you to the chamber for being a leader, for being a great resource, and happy to be supporting you in this event. Everybody else, enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and I was so glad and thrilled that I could join you today.
Thank you, everybody. Make sure you guys visit all the different booths. If you want to learn more about One LA, you can stop by the Chamber booth. They'll give you more information about all the great programming we're doing. Bixel Exchange, if you guys need one-on-one advising and learning how to pivot, learning how to do more work on your business instead of in your business, we can help you with that. And then also visit our Southern California Leadership Network booth. And last but not least, we want to say thank you again, Cornel. Thank you so much for being our MC for today. And thank you to all of our sponsors who made this possible. We really, really appreciate it. And, we'll see you guys at the booth. Make sure you guys join for the DJ. There's going to be some giveaways, some, raffle items that are going to be thrown out. So just make sure you guys join us for the after work networking session. And with that, thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Gosh, I can't wait to see the recording and hear how it all went.